Alright guys, I'll make this short. My wife was huffing and puffing about being out here, but she came out here because she's a trooper and I love her. So either way, I came out here tonight to kind of fuck around with the Bonneville, and I put the fans back on. Our power issue is a lot better after replacing that switch, but it's just our alternator can't keep up, and that's what it comes down to. So I really need a new alternator, but I don't feel like buying a new alternator because it runs really good with the setup, that with the mechanical fan and stuff. It doesn't look the best, but it works the best because it's the cheapest and it's there, and there's a cover at least to keep your fingers from being cut off. So, and it doesn't really look that bad. I got some compliments on it at the cruise night about being creative. So, and it doesn't look bad the more I look at it. So either way, the next phase for this thing is to kind of get it ready to go to the track sometime in the fall. So I got to put a drive shaft safety loop in it. We got to get a shifter because it's kind of not, it's caught in between. So when you look at a transmission selector, let me try to find a marker here. I'll show you guys real fast. When you try to, so what's going on is there's a valve in the transmission that goes like this, and it's got a bunch of slots that fluid passes through in relation to the main body of the transmission, the fluid body, your valve body. So when you move it over, one is shut, one is open, one is open, one is open, or whatever it comes down to. And if it's stuck in between, then you have cross leaks and you have loss of pressure, and the transmission feels kind of weak between shifts because it's diverting fluid to other passages. There's not enough line pressure. Because this transmission, the shifts aren't consistent when I'm ratcheting through it. So I'm thinking it's the ratcheting mechanism because I adjusted the shifter like 2-3 times. So we need a shifter, drive shaft safety loop, and this thing's ready for the track. I'm not going to worry about the mechanical fan at this point. So that's kind of the problem that's going on. They're lining up like here and here and here versus here, here, and here, or whatever. You guys get the fucking picture. So either way, I also came out here because I've been slacking. And now that both cars are kind of at a good point and I finally got that carburetor all set up, we're going to be doing that big block. I came out here and I put a thrust bearing in it, the number 3 bearing, and I checked it, and it's actually good. It's not bad at all. I haven't put a dial indicator on there, but I know that it's going to be within range because I can't see it move, but I can hear the oil squish, so it's going to fall in probably where it needs to be, or if not, I can probably clearance it a little bit by removing a little bit of material off of the bearing, which is kind of frowned upon, but it works. But it should be good. Again, I'm going to touch on this build because this big block build is going to be a down and dirty, slap them together, big block olds build. What most guys fucking hate to hear, because as soon as you say that, they're going to say failure. And I've built engines this way before without issues. You just got to be careful. You got to measure stuff out. I got most of my parts. I went through my inventory of all my big block stuff. I got various intake gaskets. I got the Mr. gaskets. I got 2 sets of Cometics. I got the cork valve cover gaskets. I got head gaskets in there. We got our intake. We got the balancer I got from JJ. Still owe him money for that, which I gotta thank him a lot because he also offered up rocker arms and push rods for the build for now, just to kind of get me by since he's not using them. So those will be on loan. Hopefully the push rods are close. I know the rocker arms will work. And then, so all I really need is rod bearings. I have the main bearings here. I got rings. These are, I forgot if these are Molly or not. I gotta run the numbers on these because I do not remember if they were Molly or not, which is going to depend on the finish of the cylinder wall because I am going to have to give it a down and dirty dingle ball hone. Again, everything about this build is just going to be like, let's slap it together because, you know what, honestly, if I'm going to build a big block olds, I guess what I want to say is if I was to do it, I would just start different. And I got this because it is a good piece. It's a good running engine. It's got a lot of history. It was built in the early 2000s. I've talked to the guy who actually built it, and I got a little bit of info on it and its history. So, but at this point, I'm at a crossroads where I wanted to build that big block for the Pontiac, but I think the Pontiac is eventually just going to become an LS, and the big block, I'm just going to build it and put it in the olds and run it. And my small block, I'm going to end up going through it, freshening it up, checking it out if it needs it. We've been beating on it for 2 seasons now, and it's time for me to check out my work and see how it's held up. And I intend to just keep my car a small block car and continue to make whatever is there fast. And my ideal goal is to keep the car in the 1180s, because it's been, ever since we got the car in the 11s, it's ran within a half a hundredth of the ET. So it's been really, really good, and it's been running really consistent every time at the track. It's time to go out and to start doing like some points races. So my idea with the car is to just keep it pretty much where it's at. It's running good. I'm happy. It's still at a cheapish performance point where I'm not going to spend a lot of money like guys running 10s or 9s or whatever. And so that's my goal. But what I'm going to be doing is, the goal here is to get all my parts together. I'm going to build this engine in one weekend starting Friday, and then I'm going to put it on the run stand by Sunday. That's the goal, if nothing else, gets in the way. There is going to be some pre-planning involved. Hopefully the push rods will work, because the push rods will be the main limiting factor. I think everything else is pretty much going to come together, because when I took the engine apart, everything was pretty good for the most part, not beat up. So, and I'm not going to balance it. I am going to change the balancer, but I'm not going to balance it. I'm not going to worry about it at this point. We'll see how bad it is, because the original balancer's been beaten. It's already got a speedy sleeve in there, and it got beat up at some point in its life, and it's already slipping on the rubber. So either way, that's my crazy goal, and hopefully in a couple of weeks I can plan a weekend where I can make this happen, and we're pretty much going to do various updates as we go on the engine and videos and whatnot. Maybe I'll even do it live if you guys can kind of support it and share it. And again, this has been sitting for a while. I don't have a lot of money in it. I think all in all, I think I got everything for like $1,600. Big chunk of it was a trade. So cold hard cash, I got $1,100 in it. And at this point, which way do I go? I'm just gonna slap it together and run it, because I got it and it's gonna be fun. And I got a big hydraulic Lunatic cam for it. The solid cam that I let my buddy borrow got wasted because his engine got wasted. So neither here nor there. But it's gonna fucking happen. And the goal is before the end of August, or at the end of August, within the month of August, this thing's gonna be built, running, and hopefully it runs good. The reason it got sold is somebody blew the head gaskets. My buddy JJ has the Edelbrocks from it, and they checked out fine. If the aluminum head's checked out fine, then I think the block is definitely fine. But as we build it, we're gonna constantly check things, and we're gonna, again, a lot of backyard stuff's gonna be going on, but we are gonna measure everything. I'm gonna be measuring the rod ends. We're gonna be measuring our bearing clearances. I'm sure they're gonna be on the looser end of things, but hey, between stock and Bill Travato is good for me. And that's not knocking him, but anybody who knows how he builds engines, he builds them on the looser end. So either way, I'm going to be putting this thing together, and it's going to be just a down and dirty build. So I laugh because I think a lot of people probably wouldn't be doing this, but it's got the heavy Speed Pro pistons, and I think if I were to build it, I'd do it differently from the get-go. So I'm just going to run it. It's got oil restrictors in it, and I'm pretty much going to build it the way that I got it, and just make sure everything's good. So on that note, I'll let you guys know that we are hitting the track on Saturday, and we're going to try out that carburetor, and then if that works out good, then we're going to be trying tires with radials, and we're going to be trying different things out. So I think it's going to be a good day for testing on Saturday. It's supposed to be in the low 80s all week, so it's really nice today. I'm just sweating because I shut off the windows and door, and then I asked my wife to come out here and do a video. So either way, let me know what you guys think, and if you think this is something that you really want to watch kind of live, we'll do it live as we can, not entirely the whole thing, or we'll do consistent updates throughout the day on the build as we go. But I need feedback on that from you guys, because it's going to happen. So let me know, share, like, subscribe. It's going to happen. I finally checked that end play. So see you.